So today we are looking at the ReactOS 0.4.15 RC. So here is the live boot of the ReactOS. So let me quickly boot it in the live boot. So I'm running it on the virtual machine, which is a VMware with 60 GB of virtual disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5-1240p. So this is the release candidate ISO file. So I'm going to give you a small description or some information of the ReactOS. So it's based on independent, so it's an independent Linux distribution, and the country of origin is from the Russia. So it's from the Russia. So about the architecture, it is i386 and x86-64. And about the desktop, you get the ReactOS Explorer. So ReactOS is a free and open source operating system which is based on the best design principles found in the Windows NT architectures, written completely from scratch. ReactOS is not a Linux-based system, and it shares none of the UNIX architecture. So the main goal of the ReactOS project is to provide an operating system which is binary compatible with Windows. So this will allow Windows applications and drivers to run as they would on a Windows system. Additionally, the look and feel of the Windows operating system is used such that people accustomed to the familiar user interface of Windows would find using ReactOS straightforward. So the ultimate goal of ReactOS is to allow people to use it as an alternative to Windows without the need to change software they are used to. So here you can see the ReactOS is completely loading. So it says installing devices. So this is the latest version of the ReactOS. So I already made a lot of videos in the previous in my channel about the ReactOS. So in the top, not the top, in the bottom right corner, you can see the ReactOS version 0.4.15. And here we have the language selection. So here you can see the ReactOS live CD. So you can choose the language here. So people who are born in 90s can easily find this distribution or the operating system easily. So most of the 90s kids like this type of operating system, even it's for me also. So it's I'm going to choose the language and the keyboard layout. So I'm going to click on next here. So here you get the options like a run ReactOS live CD, or you can install the ReactOS. So it's always a good option if you have the live boot option in the operating system, then always run it in the live boot first. If you're satisfied, then go with the installation. So also the installer will be also available on the desktop, so you don't need to worry about the installation. So I'm going to choose the live boot. So here you can see the older version of 90s type of Windows. So I even use this 90s type of Windows. So I was born in 90s, so it's pretty much pleasing to eyes for me, but for now generation, I don't know how it feels for you. For old guys like me, it's pretty much awesome. So here is the application menu. So everything kinda like old Windows. So I like this type of operating systems. So here are all the available or the pre-installed applications you get in the accessories. Here are the administrative tools like a device manager and all those things, and the games. So this was my favorite, which is like a mine and all those things, and also the solitaire. We would be playing this in old days, but I don't think it's available in the latest Windows. But here are all the games. So you get the 3 games, and also here is the ReactOS Explorer. Under the documents, you can see the file manager and all those things. So about the ReactOS, here is all the information. So copyright 1996 to 2024. So installed physical memory 2.99 GB. So I'm going to close everything. So settings, control panel. So here is our control panel. And about the internet, we don't have anything about the internet, I think, here. So we don't have any browsers, I guess. Multimedia, system tools, calculator, administrative tools. So I don't think there is an internet browser or anything like that. Internet settings, but they have internet settings. I'm going to find the browser. So here is the browser. So let's try to open the browser if it's working or not. So we're going to close everything. And let's try to find the display settings, whether we have any display settings or not. So if we had any display settings, we can change the display settings. So here is the display. Let me try to choose the resolution here if it's available. Settings. So it has last is 1152 into 864 pixels. So there is no more than that. So here is the colors. So I'm going to keep it like this because my monitor is 1920 into 1080. So I'm just going to keep it like that. So internet, it doesn't work, I think. So I tried to open the internet browser. It's not working. So let's try to open the console. So here is the console. And here are some mouse settings. So it's from the Russia, so it doesn't have any Russian language here, but everything is looking properly. So we don't care whether it's from the Russia or wherever it is, but if it's good, you can use it, but never use it for main PC or work PC. So always be careful whatever the country it is. Always try it in the live boot first. If you get all the information on your own, do your own research. Don't just blindly go with someone's videos. Always do your own research, and if you like it, if there is nothing suspicious, then always try these Linux distros. If anything is suspicious, just skip those Linux distribution, because there is no such thing that we have less Linux distros, because we have a lot of Linux distros available. So you can consider Ubuntu or any lightweight Linux distributions instead of this, like Tiny Linux. So there are a lot of lightweight Linux distros which can run easily, like 25 MB of RAM. So they have a lot of less like a lightweight Linux distros. I made a lot of videos in my channel about the lightweight Linux distros. So it's not like a specific thing. You just need to go with this type of Linux distros. So there is no such thing. You can go choose whatever Linux distro you want. So there are plenty of Linux distros available in the Linux market, so you don't need to worry about anything. So do your own research. If anything is suspicious about this Linux distro, just skip this Linux distro and try the another Linux distros. So if everything is good, then you can try this Linux distros. So here is all the options. So most of the users who like the Windows XP, Windows older versions can love this type of Linux distributions, including me. So it's kind of looks like when we were kid, it was pretty much awesome for us using the Windows operating systems, the old Windows operating systems, like Windows 95, and also the almost till like a Windows 7. We were liking all those type of Linux distros. Not the Linux distros, all the operating systems. So here are all the available things. About the changes, there is no release notes or anything available. So I'm going to provide whatever information is available in the description, so you don't need to worry about it. So there is no release notes or anything. So these are all the things you get. So I'm going to open some of the applications. So here is the information, like my CPU and RAM. It's consuming like a 2.99 GB of RAM. Here is the home page. So it doesn't work, the internet is not working, so that's the issue in this thing. So here is the ReactOS operating system. I don't know how it performs when you install it. I'm not going to install because I don't want to. I want to make another video, so that's the reason. So always get your own research, do your own research. If you're satisfied with the Linux distribution or the operating system, whatever the operating system or any Linux distros, only if you are satisfied, then go with the installation, or else you can just skip those Linux distros and you can choose the Linux Mint or Ubuntu or like a MX Linux. There are plenty of well-known Linux distributions which has good reputations. You can go with those type of Linux distributions. You don't need to exactly switch to this type of Linux distros. Do your research, and if you're satisfied, then only go with this type of Linux distributions. So here is the information. It says I'm running it on the VMware, so already mentioned in the beginning. So it's consuming like it's taking like a 3 GB of RAM, so it's running properly without any issues. There is like some screen tearing or something like that, as you can see. So there is no proper animation. It's kind of looks like we know these type of animations from the older Windows, so it's okay for me. So for you, if it's anything is like annoying for you, you just can skip those type of Linux distros. So here is some of the information. So at first it was running properly. Right now it's having some issues like a mini lag or something like here and there hiccups. So it's not a smooth experience, and also I'm running it on the virtual machine, so it should be happen sometimes. So here are the applications, updates and all those things. It's a application manager, and also here are some other options like a update database. You can even refresh, and here are other things like accessibility. So here you can customize like a sound, display and mouse, general and all those things. So let's go through all those things and see what it is, because I don't remember anything. So it's kind of like a Windows programs, applications, things like a click on next and all those things. So I'm just going to close everything, administrative tools, and also the console, the date and time. So here you can change the date and time. The displays, we already saw the displays. About the folder options, same like a Windows 11 operating system. We can customize by double clicking or single clicking. So this is pretty much same like almost like a Windows operating systems. And about the fonts, here are all the available fonts. And here is the game controllers. And here is the internet settings. So the browser isn't working, so that's a pretty much annoying thing. I can't show you how to download, but you can search it in the SourceForge website. Just type in like a ReactOS, and you should be seeing in the files like a 0.4.15 RC, and you can try it if you want. So if you are a normal user, don't even try to use this type of Linux distributions, because you should be searching for the Linux distros which is good in stability, good in security, and it's a well-known distribution like that type of Linux distributions. So this is not a Linux distribution, this is another operating system. So if you are here for the Linux distributions, then it's not a video for you. You can try another Linux distributions which are well known. So always use do your own research. If you don't know how to do your research, you can try the ChatGPT or any Google or any AI applications for you. So there are like AI tools you can search, or else you can search in the Google. You can do a research on your own. You don't need to worry about anything. So there are plenty of Linux distros available in the Linux market, which are well known and trusted by most of the people. So you can go with those type of Linux distributions, like for example Linux Mint, MX Linux, Ubuntu. So there are a lot of well-known distributions, Debian. So there are a lot of distributions or Linux distros you can use if you want, if you're a normal user. But if you're a distro hopper or a Linux tester, here is another Linux distribution, or here is another operating system available. Sorry, I'm continuously saying like a Linux distribution. It's not a Linux distribution. So it's pretty much fixed in mind, like I will be doing a lot of videos on Linux distributions. So that's the reason it's coming in between my talk. So it's not a Linux distribution. So here is it is an independent operating system. So you need to understand that. Here are the power options. So I kept everything as a default, so there is nothing changed here. So phone and modem options, you don't know about. The newer generation doesn't know this thing, because we were using this type of internet connections like a modems and all those things. I don't know if nowadays kids doesn't know all those things, because they have easily internet like a Wi-Fi and all those things. But when we were kids, this is how we were connecting to the internet in the Windows XP and all those things. So here is sound and audio devices. So here you can customize. So in the older days, it was pretty much hard to connect the internet, like you need to type in like a passwords and all those things for the internet connections. Nowadays also has the password, but those days were pretty much awesome for me. Here is the taskbar. So here you can customize. Here you can choose the start menu, and also you can customize by checking these boxes if you want. So there is no release note, so that's the reason we can't say anything here. So I'm just checking the operating system. And also about the ReactOS website, you can just type in like a ReactOS for the specific version or the release candidate version of this version, like a 0.4.15. You should be going to the SourceForge in order to download. But if you want the stable version, you can just go to the ReactOS website, and there will be version of 0.4.14. So that's the stable version of the ReactOS. But if you want release candidate, here is the release candidate. In order to download the release candidate, you just need to go to the source forge and you should be finding the release candidate version there. So these are all the things available, and here are the options. You can do a refresh, you can add the folder, links, text document and all those things, the properties. You can change the wallpapers. So there are not a lot of wallpapers available, but here are the available things. Let me apply it. Okay, here you can customize the desktops like this one. Change the icons if you want, and you can even customize the desktop color. So these were available in the older versions of Windows, but I don't think there is such thing in Windows 11 because I just use the Windows 11 for editing and all those things, for just for my applications. So I'm going to click apply. Okay. So these are all the things of the 0.4.15, and also in the older version there is same thing. So there is literally nothing changed here. If you want, you can check my previous video if you want. So here is all the desktop features available, like a date and time and all the internet connections and power options. So max battery, office, home and all the available things are right here. And this is the safely remove HID mouse. So these are all the things you see in the release candidate version of a 0.4.15. You can edit, you can change the things here if you want. So there is no release note, so I'm just going to provide the available information in the description. So this is how it's performing. So even if you have a lightweight, even if you have like a low-end PC, you can try these Linux distributions. So if you want a Linux distribution or any other operating system, then always go with the stable operating systems and well-known distributions always. So always try to do your own research. Don't blindly go with someone's videos. Even if it's me, don't blindly go with anyone's, because it's your privacy and it's your PC. You need to be very careful, because a lot of people on the internet will be using some things and trying to put you in this type of operating systems. Don't blindly go with any type of distributions, and I never recommend any type of Linux distributions or any operating systems in my channel. But I'm going to guide you to good Linux distributions which are used by most of the users. For example, like Ubuntu and Linux Mint and like Debian and all those things, because it doesn't give anything for me, but it's a well-known distributions from like almost like a 10-11 years. So that's better to go with well-known distributions. And also, if you have any problems, you can even share with the people who can help you in the Reddit and also in forums. There are a lot of people who can help, who have good heart people who help a lot of people who doesn't know anything about that. So that's the reason, always go with the well-known distributions so people can help you easily. So this is how it performed. The internet browser wasn't working for me, so I am going to end the video here. So here you can see the task manager. So it's not showing anything, just the process and the performance. Right now it's consuming like a 109 MB. So till now I didn't understand where was the task manager, but it was in the taskbar. So when I choose the task manager, here is the task manager. Let's check the version of the task manager. So the version is 0.4.15 itself. So there is nothing changed. Everything is 0.4.15, including the task manager. So here it is performing. So it's consuming a lot of RAM. Even if you call it as a lot of RAM, it's still consuming like a 100 MB and also 20-30% of CPU. But for the specific information, you can go down here and read everything. So in 3 GB of RAM, it's consuming like a 100 MB. So do your research. If you like this distribution, you can choose this distribution. Just for the if you have like a low-end PC which is, or the laptop which is not working, you can try these distributions, but never go with the for the main PC or work PC. Don't try this type of operating systems for in the main PC or work PC. Only if you do your research, then go try it, or else it's clearly up to you. So I think I'm going to end the video here. Here are all the files and options, view, Windows, shutdown and all those things. So I'm going to end the video. So everything was working fine in my PC, so I don't know how it performs on your PC. If you want to try it, you can try it, or else you can just skip this skip this operating system. And there is also Tiny Core Linux, so if you want to try it, you can try it, because it's pretty much like a 20 MB 25 MB of ISO. So if you want to try it, you can try it. So thanks for watching. Peace out.